Why did I have 20 eyes on my floor? I'll tell you. If you're anything like me, you've probably seen a fair amount of questions like the ones that I am posting here on every single makeup post on Facebook and Instagram. Or maybe you've asked the questions yourself. What color should I wear? I realized that by understanding basic color theory, women wouldn't need to ask that question anymore. I think we probably all learned about the color wheel at some point, but if you're not an artist or in a career adjacent to that, you have literally no reason to keep the color wheel top of mind or on your mind at all. And so what is the color wheel? It was developed by Isaac Newton and represents the spectrum of colors visible to the human eye. It's comprised of primary colors, yellow, red, and blue. Secondary colors, which are created by mixing two primary colors in equal parts, so green, purple, and orange, and tertiary colors, which are created by mixing primary and secondary colors. Complementary colors are colors that are opposite of each other on the color wheel. So for example, green and red, blue and orange, etc. Analogous, I can say this word, analogous colors are groups of three colors next to each other on the color wheel. So for example, yellow, yellow-orange, and orange would all be analogous colors, and then orange, red. Then of course there are warm and cool colors. Red, orange, and yellow would all be warm. Green, blue, and purple would be cool. So what does any of that have to do with makeup? Well, if you know how your eye color fits into the color wheel, you can easily figure out what makeup colors would look the best, either to complement your eye color or to make it pop more. For example, blue eyes look best with orange undertones, which again makes sense given their placement on the color wheel, blue and orange. Green looks best with red undertones, again makes sense because they're opposite on the color wheel. And brown can actually wear pretty much any color, but blues and purples look the most striking. We'll get into this more, but I basically decided to try this out and show you how different colors look with different eye colors. Different eyeshadow colors look with different eye colors. But don't worry, I didn't draw 20 eyes. I was more efficient than that. But I did color each one with 5 eyeshadow colors that you might not have considered previously or hadn't visualized. I hope this video helps people feel more confident when they're choosing makeup colors. Okay, let's start with brown, because I think that brown, like I said, goes with so many more colors than the other eye colors do, and so it just kind of makes sense to start with this. And the first color we're going to be applying to the brown eye is bright yellow. And As you can see, this actually looks really, really good with the brown. Sorry, excuse the meowing. My cat is asking for food at 1 p.m. Anyway, bright yellow looks really, really good. And I should explain something about brown to you guys. Brown is essentially just dark orange. So if you think about it that way, it makes sense why purple and blue would make it pop so much. And why yellow would look good, because yellow is analogous to it on the color wheel. But if you look at it that way, brown is just dark orange, you'll have a better idea of hopefully what colors would go with it. Oops, that eye was flipped. And I don't know, it does change your perspective on the color brown, I feel like, just knowing that. And so I think it's super... Okay, shush, both of you. Sorry, my animals are... decided now would be a good time to make a bunch of noise. Okay, so the next color we're doing on the brown is fuchsia. And again, if you look at it this way, brown is dark orange, then that totally makes sense that fuchsia would also look good on brown, because fuchsia is essentially pink or red, and so like a lighter version of red, right? And so the fuchsia also looks really, really, really good with the brown. And so that's another really great color to consider for brown eyes. The next color is mint green. And again, I'm just gonna probably keep going back to this, the idea that brown is dark orange, because that totally explains why green, and in particular a more blue green, if you will, would look best with this color. So, and again, I was sort of with these, this part, I was just trying to kind of maybe show people colors they maybe hadn't thought of before that go with their particular eye color. So maybe you've never tried mint green with your brown eyes. Maybe you've never tried bright yellow. I certainly would not have thought about trying bright yellow, but it looked really good. So the next color is icy blue, which is a little difficult to convey with colored pencils, I feel like. I basically used a light blue color and then put some white over it in an attempt to make it look kind of icy. But it's supposed to be icy blue, which again makes sense. Orange is across from blue. They are therefore contrasting colors, so sorry, complementary colors, that's what I meant. The final color that I tried to do with the brown was rust orange. I found a color that I thought looked most like rust orange, so arguably this might be a little too it might be too orange. It might not be red enough because rust orange is kind of has red in it, you know. So I don't know. Oh, sorry, dog. So that's kind of up to you if you think this is like a good representation of rust orange, but it was pretty much the best one I could find. So, and as you can see, that looks really, really cool, which makes sense because it has red in it, or it's supposed to have red in it, and that would be an analogous color with the brown. So the next dye color we have is green. And this was actually really fun for me because I have green eyes, so I was curious to see how these different colors looked with the green. I would say none of these colors are shocking, but definitely did expand my sort of understanding of what would go well with green, because I definitely do rose gold a lot, but I hadn't really thought about doing peach before, and that's what this is, peach. I kind of wish it showed up a little bit better, but I think because it was a drawing, it was going over, it's a lot harder to see it, whereas on your actual eyelid, the colors wouldn't be, the other colors wouldn't be as noticeable, but, you know, that's okay. But that's peach. Okay, so well, since we covered this, and most of you probably know, purple goes really well with green, and so purple was the next color that, violet specifically, that I put on the green eyes. And I mean, I think most of us already knew that purple just makes green pop, and also orange. But, so this one was pretty obvious, I feel like. Oh, I do apologize. The camera slipped, I guess. Sometimes that happens when I'm drawing hard on the table. Anyway, the next color was mustard yellow, which I had never thought about. And actually, yeah, I thought it looked really, really nice with the green. Maybe not as an everyday look, depending on what you're going for, but I maybe a more muted or sparkly version of this would probably look really great, you know, for a nighttime event or something like that, because it really does make the green stand out. Okay, so the final color for green, sorry, not the final color, almost the final color, but not the final color, is rose gold. And it was actually surprisingly hard to find a pencil that I felt like really was rose gold. So I ended up using the rose gold pencil, but then sort of mixing it with a more metallic red pencil because I wanted more of that sort of red gold color. However, so I don't know. See, I don't really think that looks that much like rose gold, the color they called rose gold. But in any case, I myself use rose gold quite frequently. And it looks really great with the green, which makes sense. It's essentially a combination of red and yellow. Or yellow with like a slight tint of red. And so yeah, it really brings out the green and is fun, and more interesting than other stuff, perhaps. Now we're on the final color of green, and that is teal. And again, having said what I said about the color wheel, this should make sense to you by now. But yeah, it looks really, really pretty with the green, and I think it's definitely a color I will keep in mind for the future. I think that it just really makes the green pop, and yeah, it's really pretty. So now we're on Hazel eyes, and sadly these did not come out as well as I hoped. The actual portrait looked fine, but I think the copy of it got a little bit faded out. But so the first color for Hazel is soft pink. And it was kind of hard to find what I considered like a good soft pink color, but I did find this sort of cotton candy purple pink color, and I figured it worked pretty well, and yeah, it looks pretty good, I think. Again, I wish the eyes themselves had come out better looking because they actually did look pretty good, and I think the pink would have looked even better had the eye been represented correctly when it printed, but whatever, it's okay. Oh dear. Oh god. Uh-oh. Okay, so the next color that goes really well with Hazel eyes is a deep navy blue, and you'll see that in a sec, but it because Hazel eyes tend to have a bunch of different colors in them, I think that you guys actually have a fair amount of flexibility with the colors you wear as well. However, I did notice that a lot of the colors were like blues, purples, reds, and so I kind of think that maybe Hazel, the sort of color theme going along with Hazel is more of what you would wear with green eyes. But I think Hazel, at least to me, Hazel eyes tend to have different colors in them. But I guess primarily like a light green type maybe. So. Okay, so the next color I used with the Hazel was sort of a coral salmon color. And you'll see too that that really just looks amazing with the, and again, I wish the eye had turned out a little better in the copy, but you can see how good that kind of coral looks with that Hazel. Oh, and I want to explain that my animals are fine. They're just, the cat is asking for dinner, per usual, way too early in the day. And she is in the office with me. And because she's in the office, the dog is crying because the dog is upset that the cat's in the office. And the dog is also sometimes afraid to come in the, anyway, it's a whole thing. So, I just want to explain that so nobody thinks that my animals are like hurt or upset or anything. They're literally just being annoying and asking for food. I mean, the cat is, the dog isn't, but. Okay, so the next color I used was sort of it was supposed to be like a burgundy color. I actually think it was a little too red and didn't have enough purple in it, because I think burgundy really should have some kind of purple to it, because the wine tends to be really, really dark red but almost purpley. But you know, I found the pencil I thought was the closest to it, but looking back at it now, I do think it's a little too red. But that being said, it still does look fine with this eye, but I think that having a red with more purple in it would look amazing with this kind of eye color. Okay, and last but not least, with the Hazel eye, I have a periwinkle, which essentially is kind of a really pretty, almost purpley blue color. And yeah, it does look really nice with this eye color, so something to consider, perhaps. So finally we're on to blue eyes, yay. Okay, so I actually, saw a lot of those questions online about blue eyes specifically, which I found super interesting because I always thought blue would be super easy to figure out eyeshadow colors for, but apparently I was wrong. So first up is red, and again, that seems like relatively obvious because blue is opposite of orange on the color wheel, and so essentially red is a complementary color for blue, but it also kind of makes it pop a lot, and I think it's a little more maybe wearable than orange on an everyday basis. Like you could probably find a very nice subtle red color to wear with your blue eyes that wouldn't be like super over the top like this. Yeah, so I think you'll see the red looks really nice. Oh, and the reason there's no eyelashes on this one and the Hazel is because stupidly I was like, oh, I shouldn't put eyelashes in because I'm going to be copying these, printing them, and the eyelashes will be in the way. Well, then on the ones that I had already drawn eyelashes in, I found out like, oh no, it's okay. They actually either still show up under the other pencil, or like it's not a big deal. I could have done the eyelashes, but that's what the eyes look a little strange. Okay, so the next color for blue is bronze. I'm a huge fan of metallic stuff in general. Anyone who knows me can attest to that. I just love shiny metallic stuff, and yeah, so I was very excited to use bronze. And again, you can also think of bronze as essentially being orange, right? Just shiny orange. And so yeah, it makes, again, sense that it would look really good with blue. The next color for blue is olive green. Again, it's an analogous color, so it totally makes sense, but I think maybe people, maybe you hadn't considered using olive green before, because, I don't know, who knows, but I actually think that, yeah, it looks nice. So olive green is also a good color for blue. The next color for blue is lavender, and again, analogous. This totally makes sense. But even I was surprised by how pretty lavender was with the blue. So yeah, don't discount lavender. It looks really pretty. If maybe, some of these are obvious to people, and if that's the case, I'd love to do another video with more obscure or like out there colors that you might not have even thought about, because I think most people would probably know, oh, okay, yeah, I have green eyes, so I should wear violet, or I should wear like bronze with blue, or whatever it is. But if you'd like a video with more obscure sort of options, let me know, and I can always do that as well. But I wanted to just do a basic one because like I said, I see so many posts where people are just like, I don't even know what color to wear. And I was just so shocked by that, because I kind of assumed, perhaps stupidly, that everyone, again, just always knew what the color wheel was, or always had it in their heads, and we're like, well, red goes with this and green goes with that. But apparently that's not true. So hopefully this helps people just get a better sense of the color wheel and how it relates to everyday life. And sorry, this last color was like a charcoal gray, which again was kind of hard to find or figure out what exactly that would be. But I found like a 90% warm gray that I thought kind of looked like a charcoal gray, and so that's what I ended up using. But I think that's super interesting that the gray would go really well with the blue as well. But it did. It maybe a more, elegant, understated look for like a fancy event. I don't know if you'd want to, again, do this all the time, because it seems a little dark and mysterious and, dramatic. So I don't know if you'd want to always do charcoal gray, but yeah, I thought it looked really, really nice. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful. I'd love to see your comments, see if it was helpful. And if you'd like anything else like this, maybe blush or whatever. I really enjoyed drawing faces and stuff. Anyway, and those are all the eyes. You can see I had them all out on the floor, all 20 of them. So yeah, thank you for watching.